For much of the 20th century, Doris Day wasn't just a star, she was a promise that warmth survived fame, that sincerity still sold tickets. Audiences trusted her smile, believed her voice, and welcomed her into their homes. But behind Hollywood's brightest optimism lived a woman marked by betrayal, silence, and wounds applause couldn't heal. And at the center of that hidden story stands one uncomfortable truth: a partnership the world adored, and a name Doris Day struggled to forgive: Rock Hudson. That changed everything forever. Born Doris Marion Kappelhoff on April 3, 1922, in Cincinnati, Ohio, Doris grew up in a modest household during the Great Depression. Money was tight, and life demanded resilience from an early age. Still, Doris radiated energy and enthusiasm. As a child, she wasn't dreaming of movie cameras or recording studios. Her heart belonged to dance. Movement was her language, and she poured herself into training with determination and joy. By her teenage years, Doris had become a competitive dancer, even winning local competitions with her partner. Her future seemed clearly mapped until everything changed in an instant. A devastating automobile accident shattered her leg, ending her dancing dreams abruptly and permanently. The injury confined her to months of recovery, forcing her to abandon the identity she had built around movement and performance. It was a crushing loss, but one that unknowingly opened another door. During her recovery, Doris began singing along to the radio to pass the time. What started casually revealed an extraordinary gift. Her voice was effortless, emotionally honest, and strikingly pure. Friends encouraged her. Family believed in her. Soon, she was singing with local bands, building confidence without realizing she was stepping into her true calling. Her life took a decisive turn when bandleader Barney Rapp heard her sing and suggested she change her last name to Day, inspired by her rendition of Day After Day. That simple change marked the birth of Doris Day, the performer. In the mid-1940s, she joined the orchestra of Les Brown, one of the most popular bandleaders of the swing era. In 1945, she recorded Sentimental Journey, a song that resonated deeply with Americans returning home from World War II. It became more than a hit. It became an emotional homecoming for a nation exhausted by conflict. Doris Day's voice offered comfort, nostalgia, and hope at precisely the right moment. Hollywood soon came calling. In 1948, Doris made her film debut in Romance on the High Seas. What began as a modest acting opportunity quickly expanded into a full-fledged film career. Doris possessed something rare: natural beauty without intimidation, charm without arrogance, and sincerity that audiences instinctively trusted. She didn't feel manufactured. She felt real. Throughout the 1950s, she became one of the most reliable box office stars in America. Her dramatic abilities reached a turning point in Love Me or Leave Me 1955, where she portrayed singer Ruth Etting with surprising emotional depth and intensity. The role silenced critics who had underestimated her range. Soon after, she delivered one of the most unforgettable moments of her career in The Man Who Knew Too Much. 1956, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, her performance of Q Sira, Whatever Will Be, won an Academy Award and became her defining song. A gentle philosophy of acceptance that mirrored her own resilience. By the late 1950s and early 1960s, Doris Day had become the undisputed queen of romantic comedy. Her on-screen partnerships with Rock Hudson defined an era. Films like Pillow Talk, Lover Come Back, and Send Me Nitrogen Monoxide Flowers showcased sparkling chemistry, playful tension, and effortless charm. To audiences, Doris Day and Rock Hudson represented the ideal Hollywood romance: lighthearted, glamorous, and irresistibly perfect. But behind the scenes, the truth was far more complicated. Doris Day valued honesty deeply. She believed trust was non-negotiable. During her years working alongside Rock Hudson, she believed their friendship was genuine. She did not know that Hudson was gay, a fact carefully concealed by the studio system to preserve his leading man image and protect profits. When the truth eventually became public years later, Doris was devastated, not because of Hudson's sexuality, but because of the deception that surrounded it. It wasn't what he was, she later explained. It was that everyone knew but me. The realization left her feeling humiliated and manipulated. She believed she had unknowingly participated in a carefully crafted illusion, designed to mislead audiences. While fans romanticized their partnership, Doris carried the weight of a truth she had never agreed to hide. She felt betrayed not just by Hudson, but by an industry that demanded silence and compliance. Her resentment deepened as the public continued celebrating their on-screen romance. Doris was expected to smile, reminisce, and play along, knowing it wasn't real. The forced silence became its own form of cruelty. Even when Hudson later revealed his AIDS diagnosis in the 1980s, Doris did not erase the past. She supported AIDS research and expressed compassion, but she remained honest about her pain. "I felt foolish," she admitted, "and I don't like being made a fool of, away from the cameras." Doris Day's personal life was equally turbulent. Her first marriage to L. Jordan in 1941 ended in fear and abuse. Though they shared a son, Terry, Doris found the courage to leave in 1943, choosing safety and dignity over illusion. Her second marriage to George Weidler struggled under the pressure of her rising fame and quietly ended. Her third marriage to Martin Melcher lasted 17 years and coincided with the height of her career. He adopted her son and produced many of her films, shaping her public image. Yet after his death in 1968, Doris discovered devastating financial mismanagement that left her betrayed once again. Her fourth and final marriage to Barry Comden ended in 1981, closing the chapter on her romantic life. Despite everything Doris endured, she remained one of the most successful recording artists of all time, with a voice that transcended trends. In her later years, she dedicated herself to animal welfare, founding the Doris Day Animal Foundation, reflecting her lifelong compassion. On May 13, 2019, Doris Day passed away peacefully at her home in Carmel Valley, California, at the age of 97. She requested no funeral, no memorials, no grave marker, only privacy. Her legacy needs none. As the curtain falls, Doris Day reminds us that strength doesn't always shout, it endures. Beyond the smiles and spotlight, she lived with courage, honesty, and grace, never softening the truth to please the world. Her legacy isn't just Hollywood magic, but a life bravely lived on her own terms. Thanks for watching.